Where does the Patriots' sixth Super Bowl championship rank in Patriots championship lore? My name is Mike Petraglia inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium following a 13-3 Patriots win over the LA Rams alongside Lazar and Alex Barth. Guys, I said it was their most grueling Super Bowl victory. People are going to point to Super Bowl 38. That was a rock fight, but in the end, a very high-scoring one, 32-29. This was a different kind of rock fight, really, from start to finish.
Yeah, I would say that this was the most unexpected Super Bowl victory of the Patriots. I mean, maybe other than
style.
Maybe the other than 2001, which obviously they shocked the world with the Rams. Let's take that one out of it for a second. Out of the other four, this was definitely the most surprising. I mean, this team showed signs of really being done at multiple times in this year, but to get to this point and then to put together just a masterclass defensive performance after some of the games that we saw from the defense were, quite frankly, it wasn't very good. It's pretty amazing that they finally got here, and I think they, pretty much put all the doubters in their place tonight.
I talked to Rob Gronkowski after the game, and I asked him, you said coming off the field, this season was the most satisfying of his NFL career, and he's got multiple Super Bowl rings now. Yeah. And I said, why? And he said, from start to finish, everybody counted us out. We did not play our best football multiple times throughout the course of the year, but we fought through it. I think tonight was a synopsis of exactly what Rob Gronkowski was talking about for the whole year.
Absolutely. The Patriots won the Super Bowl without being the best they can possibly be. I think that came last week against Kansas City. And as we see so often in these games, the first quarter scoreless, and you're like, okay, here we go. Another Patriots Super Bowl where nothing happens till late in the game. And then you're waiting for it to break, and you're waiting for it to break, and Brandon Cooks drops a deep pass, and then Rob Gronkowski gets tackled from behind. You're thinking, where's that play? And it never came.
Right.
That's sort of what the Patriots season was this year, right? We were saying all year, even when they were playing the best they did all season, there's another gear they're going to hit. There's another gear they're going to hit. They never hit that gear. But here they are, still Super Bowl champions.
I think they were what they needed to be this year, more than any other year that I can remember. In years past, they just exerted their will against people, right? Whether it's on offense or defense, they had that identity. 2014, 2016, high-powered offenses early in the dynasty. Obviously, it was the defensive side of the ball. This year it was, all right, if we need to go heavy and put James Devlin in the game 35 times and run the fullback up the middle, we're going to do that. If we need to spread it out and play three wide receiver, we're going to do that. Defensively, we're going to play man, we're going to play zone, we're going to do whatever it takes to win that game. And the ability to just kind of morph into the team that they needed to be week to week, especially in the postseason. The Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Rams are three very different opponents. Very different game plans, very different schemes, and they were able to just kind of morph along the way into whatever they needed to be.
This Patriots Super Bowl report brought to you by our good friends at 1-in-100. Go to clnsmedia.com/beatla for your chance to enter in a raffle tickets to this Thursday night Celtics-Lakers game. Again, go to clnsmedia.com/beatla. All right, I really thought that the Patriots showed so much character in that fourth quarter, considering the fact that they didn't really have it going in terms of their rhythm the first three quarters of the game.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, that's just kind of what this team is in the Super Bowl. This, in some ways, the best thing I can compare it to is a cover song, right? Where this was almost a cover song of Super Bowl 51. It was the same emotions. In a way, it was the same storyline, but it had a very different feel to it. You kept feeling like in this game, like at points at Super Bowl 51, where's that breakthrough? Eventually they'll rebound, right? They can't let this team do this to them. And it kept going and kept going and kept going. And then late in the game, you get two or three big plays that end up deciding it, and that ends up being all it takes. So obviously a very different game, coming down from 28-3 versus being tied 3-3 the entire time. But I feel like emotionally, both, I think, for the team and for everybody who watched it, there are a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, I think it was very similar, honestly, because really the whole game offensively, it felt like that first half of the Atlanta game or really into the third quarter where they just couldn't do anything right. The execution wasn't good enough. Nobody besides Julian Edelman and maybe some glimpses of Rob Gronkowski was getting open for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady looked a little bit flustered, and the Rams defense was playing at a very high speed. And the same thing for the Patriots defense, high speed, very aggressive, come downhill. That was the mentality all day here today. And it was a rock fight. It was not the pretty Super Bowls that we've seen in the past where Tom Brady's throwing all over the yard, and yet it still got the job done. And in a way, it's kind of cool to see the Patriots win a Super Bowl differently. Maybe this one was a little bit like 2001. It kind of had that type of feel to it, and this team almost had that kind of feel to it.
Okay,
we wrap a field goal.
We wrap it up really quick here, Evan. I want to ask you, Patriots win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years in their Patriots 1.0.
Yeah.
Patriots 2.0 win 3 Super Bowls in 5 years.
Yeah.
There are going to be those who say certainly that first version more dominant, and I think the 03-04 team's definitely more dominant. This, I think, is more satisfying from a coaching perspective.
Yeah, well, I think to be able to the longevity of it, right, and to be able to keep doing it at such a high level. And let's face it, like, as good as those teams were in the early 2000s defensively, Tom Brady is a much better quarterback now than he was at that point of his career. I mean, that's just natural to be able to keep doing it at this high of a level, though. I think that's the most impressive thing. I think that just for this team, losing last year, then being able to rebound and win this year, and then also all the doubters. I mean, a lot of the players saying, where were you in September? What were you saying after Detroit? Were you saying, to us media people, were you down on us? Were you out on us? What were you saying then? Now you guys are acting like we're the best players in the world. Back then it wasn't like that. And I think that is kind of the mentality that they've had in this defense. They won't say that this was kind of a response to last year, what happened, giving up 41 points in this game to the Eagles, but this was a response to last year. Like, let's face it.
Patriots match the Pittsburgh Steelers with their 6th Super Bowl championship, a 13-3 win over the Los Angeles Rams. Inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium for Evan Lazar and Alex Barth, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.